All right, so the next portion, I'm going to do a little film session here with Tori, and she's agreed to allow me to share this with everybody who's watching. And again, a huge part of our setter's success over the past few years, and the offense has been because we spend a lot of time watching film, developing our relationship, talking about not only technique, and we usually talk about that first, but also decision making and in certain moments, and making sure that we're on the same page. So we don't have to call a timeout. Sometimes there might be a huge crowd or a band and Tori can't hear me. So she's got to, we got to be on the same page, and when the game's on the line, and again, we don't have time to call a timeout and set up a play every single time. So again, I'm going to start here. The first thing we usually do is go through our rotations. And what's great about volumetrics is you can watch those back to back to back, so we can really see, like, are we seeing trends? What do we need to develop more? What do we need to get better at? So here we go. This is our rotation 1 against our last match at Pitt this fall. So we'll watch the pass. First thing I would see is, Tori right here on this first ball. The pass is a little bit in front of her, but so when the pass is being passed, she's not quite stopped and not in base. So first thing we talk about, okay, we need to get to base a little bit quicker. Then you'll see love the 1 foot jump, but she jumps through this ball about 3 feet. Now, if she gets stopped on contact, she probably can go straight up here, but she makes a great set, and we'd watch her finish. And our outside hitter is in pretty good rhythm. All right, so here, a little bit better being stopped, could still be a little bit quicker. Okay, not quite square, but, I really like this decision. We talk a lot about Jack and Jill rule, and Jill rule means we're, setting the ball that's closest to the setter, the hitter that's closest to the setter. It's the quickest one. The middle blocker typically, cannot get there in time. And against Pitt, we had talked about attacking their quote unquote new players, the players that were not returners. So this outside here, this is her first year starting. These 2 players have proven to be pretty excellent blockers in our conference. Right, so great side out with the block. All right, so this one I would say, Tori, excellent job here getting squared up. She's straight up and down. I know where she's going to set because we watch so much film together, but if anybody else is watching, they might say they have no idea. So this is what we're looking for. Even better job because the pass is about on the 8-foot line. Let's see where she sets. Watch here. So great job there by Tori, being able to have all options on a pass that's sometimes can be difficult. So you can see we've set all 3 hitters so far in rotation 1. So Tori, where do you think you're going to set and why?
Definitely setting the dog. I'm falling back a little bit.
Falling back a little bit. But I don't know what happens here. Again, you can see Pitt's in a big spread here. So, I mean, there's no way this middle is going to close this block to the dog. I don't think Tori's giving herself enough credit. Falling back maybe a tiny bit, but it's a pretty great execution. So again here, pretty squared up. She went off 1 foot here, straight up and down. Again, I think great job. She has all 3 options. She can set all 3 of these with tempo. And I'll be honest with the coaches that are watching. This is the first time we've watched this game, and already I'm pretty. We watched it together. It's really impressed with Tori's selection here in rotation 1. Body position here, you can see. So she's going off 2 feet, which is great. She's not patterned. Again, you can't really tell where she's going to set here. It really looks like she has all 3 options and can set them with great tempo. Pretty nice there. What are you seeing here, Tori?
I definitely jumped through it here, but I'm straight up when I set it. I just think that I knew where I was setting, and so I didn't quite get my feet there in time to where I could maybe jack rule that ball to the dog or even a 2 behind.
Yeah, great. So you'll notice here too in this rotation 1, occasionally we can stack here, which would move our left side to passing on the right. And the reasons why we would do that, first and foremost, would be if we're struggling to pass. Moving her to the right puts our libero in the middle of the court and allows her to take, more serves. Another reason why we do that is purely for matchups. So we have our opposite here, who's a pretty good go hitter. So depending on who's blocking the go, we might want her to take that swing. We also might want to run, Anna on it. We want to go dog 2. She's pretty good hitting jet, but we do think our best option here is dog or slide with our middle, 2 ball with our opposite, go with our outside. But again, if we get stuck in this rotation 2 or 3 times, we are definitely going to look to mix it up. So far we're in game 3 and we've sided out almost 100% so far. So we have not had to mix it up. But I'd really encourage you, as you're going through rotations with your athletes and in practices, that you have other options and you have other ways to mix up matchups and to side out, because it's pretty easy to get stuck in one rotation. Another thing you'll see us do is, we might run our outside on a 2. Both these players are great hitting the 2, and so we love to mix that up and keep these blockers guessing. So let's see if we can get any more here. There you saw here. So we did call our outside on the 2 here. And again, not a great pass. Looks a little bit tight, but I would tell Tori here she needs to really work hard to keep this off the net. This is a trap set, and she really has, even if she wanted to tip that, really hard to tip when the ball is about 50-50. Let's see if we come back and do this time. So there you can see we called the same thing. One thing we really like to do is if we don't get a great pass or we feel like we didn't have a chance to really execute that play, we will usually stick with that. We don't change it right away because the pass dictated what we could do and what we couldn't do. So here, another bad pass. So we just got to keep it in. Luckily, we got the side out there without having to actually make a great set. But I'm going to go ahead and go on. That's quite a bit of rotation 1. So we'll go ahead and go to rotation 2 here. So right now we have our opposite stacked up here. Our middle blocker over here on the sideline, and we have a new outside hitter in the front row. So this rotation is a lot harder, I think, to make adjustments, because if you do pull like your opposite back to pass, it would move Tori to the middle of the court. So we really don't mix it up too much here, but we can run our hitters on a lot of different plays. So let's see here what we do here for game 1. So here, this is one thing we really try to avoid. You can see Tori, she's hopping to the ball, not taking direct steps and jumping way through that. So it makes, really difficult to execute on a back one, which we'd call that. But, it's a good choice. Our middle was playing really well, and we love to get our middles going early. And again, we're overloading this blocker right here who, is her first year starting for Pitt. And that was part of our game plan to make her have to work really hard. So now she's covering our middle and our opposite. So here's a great example. So the first ball to Amaya, she has to tip our middle. Okay, we get a free ball back. This is what we call repeat. Okay, so free ball back, she didn't get a kill. I love this choice. Amaya has to tip again, but awesome job by Tori of recognizing that and going right back to her. And this is kind of hard to tell. This is a push, so we want our middle to be drifting a little bit more into this gap. Now Pitt does a really nice job of diving into that gap, which causes Maya, I don't know if she has to tip this or if she's wanting to tip this. A lot of times I'll ask Tori, do you remember? I'm not sure if she does, if we had to tip this or she just wanted to.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure.
It was a while ago, this game.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go on to the rotation here. Really nice job. I like this tempo. You can see Tori finishing over her right shoulder. A great dig there by Pitt. But you can see our game plan. It's 19-18 here in game one, and we've attacked this blocker almost every ball so far in this rotation. All right, here you can see, so we didn't side out. We're mixing up our pattern here. So now we have our middle on a slide, our opposite on a two ball, and our outside on a go. So love the choice. Our opposite garners a lot of attention. So you can see this middle's pretty locked in here. Tori recognizes that, again, sticks with the game plan of attacking this blocker. It's just a different player now attacking that blocker on the pin. Another great dig by Pitt there. Great job. And, this is what great setters do. They can feel this. We've set our middle. So far, this is game two, you can see. We've set her almost every time except for one. So they're pretty locked in on her, which leaves our opposite, one on none practically. That was just a high ball. Great job, Tori, leaving that high. We'll go to the next. So great job by our middle recognizing this, staying behind, but still, she's our quick tempo option. And Tori just sets right over her. You can see she's already turning to her right. She was straight up and down. Ball's in a perfect spot. Our opposite can hit anywhere. All right, so that'd be rotation two. We'll go on to rotation three. So good job here, Tori. Can't quite jump set, but you can see she's not really going through that. She's using that one-footed to really transfer her weight. And again, finishing, over her right shoulder, exactly what we want. All right, let's see if we get a transition ball back here. Again, so awesome job. So now we have 3 blockers here, all new starters for Pitt. We still have number 2, who our game plan was attack, but now we know we want to attack this opposite when she's up there. We also love our matchup with our middle here, and this really overloads this opposite. Going 31, go. So, great execution. So you can see one thing that we do train a lot of is, like I said, we mix up our plays and we try to, we'll do the same thing if it's working, but if it's not, we're quick to make a change. So our outside hitter here is getting pulled into the middle of the court. So she's thinking she might just hit a 2 ball, which would really overload these blockers. Middle makes it's a really nice set here by Tori, straight up and down at the top of her jump. So even though there's 2 blocks there, our middle, she can get a kill. Ball's off the net. Again, it's continuing to attack this blocker. Let's see what happens here in trans. Get out of system set. So now you can see blocker here for Pitt, known to be a very, very good blocker. And so we're kind of moving our middle to hopefully get, off of number 5 a little bit. So you can see she's going on a 1. Now we know we want to get her the ball. Our middle, her kill percentage is almost 50%. So we want to get her the ball when we can. We just want to be creative about our matchups. Here's, a scramble play, almost executed. Again, when we talk about mixing up our, our patterns, one thing you can do if your opposite's a great passer, you can always pull her back to pass. Show that here. So, if we get in trouble or a team is targeting our outside hitter, she's struggling, we would pull her back just to put our middle, or our libero, into the middle of the court and just a little bit crisper serve receive. Great decision here. You can tell this middle, she's, been biting with our middle, rightfully so. We've set her a ton. Tori, this ball looks a little tight. You can see when she's taking off her jump, she's not quite squared up. But great swing, great decision. We'll watch one more here in rotation 3. So what I love here, Tori's been off 2 feet, off 2 feet. Here she goes off 1 foot, still really deceptive. We've got a 31, now, a 2 ball. Again, great blocker here, trying to get creative and get her a little bit better matchup. We still have our opposite here, against what we think was a new starter for Pitt. So awesome decision. You can see she'd be wide open. It's just a little bit too slow. And with 2 balls, and we do work on this a lot of training, is, our setter has to feel her. So, I'd say she's going fast, get her the ball. It's a perfect pass. We want to keep it fast if we can. But the outside hitter's job is to be communicating, so Tori knows she's coming in a lot quicker. But great play. If it would be a little bit better tempo, I think you would have seen, a bounce there on the 2 ball. All right, we'll go to a couple more rotations, especially these 5-1 rotations. Now we have our setter front row again. So passing, don't be afraid to mix up your passers. It always gives the server something new to look at. And if somebody's struggling, I love just to make sure I put libero in the middle of the court. That way she's allowed to take as many balls as she can. So if we get in trouble here, we would possibly pull in our opposite or put in a DS for her to pass just to get our libero in the middle of the court. So good. First ball here we have in rotation rotation 4. Now this is a ACC Player of the Year, very nice blocker, a new starter. So you can see Tori's following the game plan to a T. First time around, she's going to attack this new starter. No, great. And awesome job feeling this middle jump with our setter. So we have one-on-one. Both pins there. And you can see we, got ace twice in a row. DS comes in, put our middle in the middle of the court. See what we do here. So, pretty awesome job by DS just nailing this pass. Again, Tori, the way this works out, we have, new blocker in against, one of the most physical middles in our conference. So love this choice. Again, not just going slide to the pin, really mixing it up. This time she takes that slide inside, which we call an I. So great side out there in a big moment. And this is out of system, but awesome job by Tori. This is exactly what we want on these type of passes. So she's straight up and down, spinning a little bit, but leaves an awesome ball where our outside hitter can really drive an attack, even though it was, probably a one pass where we only have one option. So your transition looks like it's going to be a bump set. Shoot. All right, we're going to go to one more 5-1 rotation. We'll go to rotation 6 to get a new middle up there, new outside. Again, so good pass, not great, but awesome job by Tori using her momentum, taking it up, like not jumping through that. Great tempo here. Our outside hitter's driving and can be really deceptive with this tip. But so you see this inside slide. Great job, Tori. Great finish. And so we went inside slide. Now we're going all the way to the pin. Keeping this blocker, guessing and moving. Awesome job by Tori seeing this. She's jumping through this a little bit, but it looks like a tight pass. She's staying out of the net. She can feel these two blockers going with our middle. Puts our outside hitter in a great situation. It's a bad pass. We still get a great swing. Free ball back. Good. So you see our middle here has gone inside slide to the pin. Now this is one right behind the setter. So just a really nice job of mixing it up, making it really tough on this middle or this outside blocker to get in a rhythm. But we do a lot more video than just rotations. I think rotations is a great place to start. It's probably the most control that we have. You know, in transition, it can get tougher just because, you know, you don't set up plays, and typically the digs are not in system. So we always start with rotations and watch those together and make sure we're on the same page with decision making. But anything else to add, Tori, when it comes to watching videos or what to watch and what helps you learn the most?
I would just say the thing that helps me learn the most is the decision-making part of it. I think a lot of times in the middle of a maybe like high intensity game, that kind of gets like you lose sight of that a little bit because you're just trying to do the best you can with whatever pass you have. But this game, I felt like we were all really locked in on our game plan, who we wanted to attack on the block, and that was something that helped my decision-making throughout the match. And so when we talk through that in film, good or bad, that helps me a lot.
Well, it was a great job. You know, we didn't get through all of our rotations or every single set, but you can see a lot of great decisions there. There weren't too many times where we were stopping and saying you're out of control with your technique, or you know, we have a long ways to go with decision making, which is why, you know, we had success and won this match. It starts with the setter, so got to make sure, you know, we're on the same page with coach setter relationship, and you know, we're taking a lot of responsibility as a team to help our players get better and put them in great situations. But all right, Tori, thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
We'll see you at practice.
All right, see ya.
Bye. Again, Danny Buston-Kelly, head coach at the University of Louisville. Thank you for watching this seminar, Setting Your Team Up for Success, a deep dive into the setter position. Hope you got some helpful tips, you know, to help train your setter, especially in individual workouts, and also just video and the benefits that you can have from that, and when developing a game plan, and also just developing a relationship and trust between a coach and a setter, which is definitely key, you know, for long-term success, you know, and your setter is going to get you through some really tough moments, and you're going to need to rely on them to make plays when it matters the most. So, you know, my biggest advice, you want to take your team to the highest level you can, have great trust with your setter.